I'm the itinerant voice actor Carl Bishop for Wise Brother Media. Today I'm having a conversation with entertainment reporter Robin Leach. Robin, how are you today?
Everything is wonderful, thank you. Greetings from Las Vegas.
Thank you very much. And how long have you been living in Las Vegas?
I came here in 99, 2000, so here we are 15, 16 years, going strong.
Wow, that's fantastic. And that was all after Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, right?
That was after Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous and after the Food Network that followed
Yes.
Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
And not a lot of people know that you're probably responsible for the Kardashians, and for that I'm very angry at you.
Well, I don't know about responsible for them. I will take the credit for being responsible for reality television.
That's kind of what I was getting at there, yeah, because you really had the first reality television show.
Yes, there was no question that Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous was a bona fide, realistic reality show. I can't say the same about much that's on television today in that genre.
Right.
Much of it is, pre-produced fakery, driven by casts that are deprived of food, and yet fed lots of alcohol, so that you see fights break out,
How depressing.
and temper tantrums rage. It's not what I call good television, but c'est la vie.
Well, but it revolves around conflict, which is, I guess you need to have conflict to have drama, but if that's all you have,
I
that's
refuse
it,
to believe that bad television will rule in the end. I think you're seeing a need by the viewer to get back to good stories being told.
I think you're right, especially with Netflix and all of the other streaming networks. My gosh, is there a lot of great television out there?
Well, you look at it and you say, where did the regular networks go wrong? And they went wrong. If you live in a house with 18 morons who get drunk and leave a mess everywhere they go, why do you want to watch that on television? It's like I always said, nobody wanted to see a show called Lifestyles of the Poor and Unknown.
Exactly.
Television was to escape. Television was to bring you something that you could never find in real life.
All entertainment should be that way. And when I see
in the end, rules over bad quantity.
You're absolutely right. Now, I'm going to set the scene, Robin. It was the early 80s. You were a young, spry entertainment reporter at a new Entertainment Tonight, and then trouble was afoot. What happened next?
Well, there was no trouble for the first 3 years of Entertainment Tonight. I was traveling the world doing interviews and covering film festivals, and it was a grand time. And then the powers that be in Hollywood decided we should be more serious. Entertainment Tonight should not be so frivolous. So there was a new producer that was hired, and he really issued a command that instead of talking to the celebrities in their homes, he wanted to find out how they wanted to stretch their careers, and instead of doing films, would they do Shakespeare in the Park in New York? And I said, nobody cares. Nobody cares. They don't care. They don't even know who William Shakespeare is. What are you talking about? And out of that frustration came what would have really been called Lifestyles of the Famous.
Mm-hmm.
And my partner said, can you get rich people to do the same as you get showbiz people? And I said yes, without giving it a second thought. Not wondering, not even worrying as to whether, John D. Rockefeller would get into a hot tub. But sure enough, we did.
But now, aside from a guy like Donald Trump, who really loves the attention, are there any really rich business people or, however they got rich that really want all that attention? Because I've heard that the ultra-rich would rather kind of go under the radar and not really be known.
They much prefer being under the radar, and that was the big creative challenge of doing the show. You never, ever looked in the yellow pages for a category marked rich and famous and expected to find, the private number of Sam Walton.
Right.
But what we did find, which was the key to our success, was that having done 2 television specials, which was really a racking of the brains and a racking of ingenuity, we did find that the rich people would then recommend another rich person.
Ah, okay. So it was on
It was as
recommendation.
if we gave them the initial good housekeeping seal of approval,
Right.
and then we'd been vetted by the TSA as okay to go through fast check.
Now, you must have done something or presented the show in such a way that they trusted you. So you developed that trust with them.
You know, I've been a journalist in the United States since 1963, so my acquaintances in show business, stars of movies, television, and records, is pretty extensive. So that counted for something, that I'd never screwed anybody over.
Yeah.
I'd never been mean, nasty. I had a respect for them. It wasn't my job to knock them off the pillar of success.
Right.
That sort of carried over into the rich people's world. And as I say, once we'd got the blessing of the first 2 or 3 people, it was okay to then move on to other rich people.
Right.
And it was very much, you know, we use that expression called keeping up with the Joneses.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, keeping up with the Rockefellers is just exactly the same thing, except there's a lot more zeros in the bank account.
Sure. Now, what did you learn about wealthy people? How are they different, personality-wise, from the average Carl who hosts this podcast?
They are, well, I'm not saying that you aren't a workaholic, but they are workaholics.
Mm-hmm.
They are not interested in earning money per se, like we would say. We would ask for, you know, $1,000 a week as our paycheck. Rich people don't have money as the goal. Money is only their way of keeping score.
Is it power then?
No, it's an unbelievable drive for success. It's an unbelievable drive to win.
So it's the doing, not the achieving, almost.
It's the doing, not the achieving. Yes, it's nice to sit back and you know, look at the rewards of what you've achieved, but they don't worry. I mean, it's like, take for example Donald Trump. He doesn't just build one building; he wants to build 50 buildings. They have a. It's almost like a self-challenging device that covers them. That having done one business deal, they've got to do 10 business deals. Having created one product and manufactured it, they want to create 300 products and manufacture them. Having invented the first computer, they then want to invent email. It just goes on and on, is that they want to better themselves.
Now,
if it becomes a commercial win, so be it. But sometimes when you're that rich, you don't care if the rest of the world takes it, accepts it, and uses it. You only care then at that point for your own satisfaction.
Now, the trust that we were talking about earlier that you were able to garner with these folks, do you think that's possible anymore with, you know, now it seems to be gotcha journalism with TMZ, where celebrities are chased down to be caught in awkward situations?
I don't approve of gotcha journalism. And I think one of the great things, and particularly we've seen it with Donald Trump, for instance, is the ability to use social media to get your own message out without having to rely on
a filter,
nasty prying eyes that might manipulate the news against you. Social media has really changed the dynamic of quotes entertainment reporting in the last couple of years, where you can refute stories, you can kick back at rumors and malicious gossip, almost in real time. So it's been. I don't understand why the mainstream media feels that they have to knock down the people that they began by building up. I don't understand it.
Well, it's Schadenfreude. I mean, it's human nature. People want to see someone fall.
I understand Schadenfreude. I just think that the media misreads the public totally.
Because
I think we saw that in the recent election.
Because we want to see heroes. You know, we certainly do have a hero complex as humans.
Yes, I mean, I go one step further in terms of looking at the bigger, grander picture in America. In England, where I come from, we have the royal family. The royal family is the glue that holds the nation together. One looks up to them, one respects them, one listens to them, one takes guidance from them. And you don't have that in the republic called America.
No, we do not.
And therefore, you look to heroes that you've found in the world of sports, Muhammad Ali, for instance, heroes that you look to in the world of movies, Robert Redford, for instance.
Because I can't expect the Queen Mother to throw a punch quite like Cassius Clay did. So, so I do rather have my heroes as entertainers, as sports figures, as great writers, film stars. That's kind of my preference. But and I think what's a little bit false is that we said, of course we don't have a royal family, we have a classless society. Well, we really don't. We have, the classes are broken up with however much money you can earn, and that's, it's always been human nature to have classes, and there's nothing wrong with it.
No, I mean, look, I've never heard of anybody going into their boss and saying, "You're paying me too much money. I'm never going to ask for a pay raise. I'd like to ask for a pay cut."
Yeah,
I've never ever heard that happen.
What can we expect from a Trump administration, do you think?
I think that's an unknown factor at this moment, to be honest with you. But I think you're going to see the American can-do spirit return to this country. I think you're going to see people proud to be an American. There will be no more burning of the American flag. That I can tell you. There'll be no apologies for being America, the strong leader of the world. There'll be no more bowing down to foreign leaders. There'll be no more resets. There'll be no more, what does it matter? What does it care anymore?
Right.
Look, America has a responsibility. It has a moral responsibility to lead the world in a way that we think is morally right rather than morally repugnant. I think that America sometimes goes overboard in trying to foster regime change when it backfires on us every time. I don't think you're going to see that so much in a new Trump administration. We're going to keep our nose out of other people's affairs and let them solve it themselves, or we'll send them a bill for it.
Right.
If they hire the U.S. Army to come in and solve their problems.
Now, aside from that,
it's all about respect. America is going to be respected again, as well as being great again.
Aside from that aesthetic change of how we're going to be presenting ourselves, how we may feel, do you have any misgivings about the cabinet, Trump's own conflicts of interest with his business entanglements? Do you think that's going to get in the way of him being a good governor? Because he does have to do that. I mean, aside from being an inspirational, aspirational figure, which I think is one of the main jobs of a president, you also have to do the job of governing.
Here's my belief as to how Donald will govern.
Okay.
I think that he is going to govern as if it is America Incorporated. He is the chief executive officer. He's the chief operating officer. And then he has a president. And the president, in his mind, is Mike Pence. And Mike Pence will not go to funerals of foreign leaders who we despise. Mike Pence is going to get on with the running of the country. The individual secretaries within the cabinet become presidents of their own sub-companies, as it were. So they go to Mike Pence when they have a problem or a major decision. Mike Pence will answer that, and Donald will deal with the big picture. If Mike Pence has a problem, then he'll bring it to Donald, and you'll get a verdict. And it will run exactly the way a profitable, successful company runs.
Yeah. So it's going to be the most powerful vice presidential administration in history. I mean, usually vice presidents are just there to sway the vote in the Senate, and that's it. But you're predicting what sounds like is Pence really being in charge of the political nuts and bolts of things. The
day-to-day nuts and bolts. Look, it's like when Donald says, "I'm going to build a building." He doesn't then go down to the nuts, bolts, and screws shop and decide the thickness of the screws and the cost of the screws.
Right.
Does he? There's people that do that.
Yeah.
You have experts, and I think that what you're looking at is experts that he's handpicked for the different roles that they will take on. And I love the fact that some of his picks to date, or most of them, in fact, are so contrary to their viewpoints of how those departments have run in the past.
Yeah.
It's almost as if, let me really drive you nuts and let me pick somebody who is anti the energy department to run it. I think this is healthy. I think this is shake up the situation. He calls it drain the swamp. I call it shake up the status quo.
Just as long
Government is not going to be the same in the Trump administration.
Just as long as his hair doesn't clog the drain, we'll be successful with that. Robin Leach, what a fascinating a conversation we've had. I wouldn't have expected the political turn it took, but that was fascinating. It was great to hear your opinion on things.
I would have been very happy with a female president of the United States, but not with Hillary Clinton, who is a socialist. I think that there were qualified women in the race and in the last race. We don't need our president to be super smart. We need somebody to get on with the job of running the greatest country in the world.
Thank you so much for this conversation, Robin. I really appreciate it. Oh, please do tell everyone where we can follow you online, because you're writing for the Las Vegas newspaper. You have a blog, right?
We have a daily blog 24/7 at robinleach.reviewjournal.com.
And you're doing the entertainment beat pretty much, right?
It's all to do with lifestyle. It's entertainment with the celebrities, the entertainers. It's luxury with the hotels and the suites and it's fine dining and nightclubs. Everything that people come to. 43 million visitors a year come to Las Vegas to have a good time, and the column reflects that every day of the week. Tell a few people.
I certainly will. I'll have them clog the airports for you. Well, can we say it together, Robin?
Champagne
wishes and caviar dreams. All right. You're the best, man.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too. I really appreciate it, and have a great day and have a great holiday. Well, that's it. Another episode of The Itinerant Voice Actor with me, Carl Bishop. Special thanks to Johnny and Robert at Wise Brother Media, celebrity booker Paul Adamo, my partner in crime David Levin at Brainstorm Inc., and the super talented Noel Honig at the Drawing Room NYC, who created the logo for us. More episodes of Itinerant Voice Actor coming soon. Thanks for listening.